now. Hi, welcome back. This is the news review segment on the AM show with me, Sweetie Abochi. In the studio with me this morning is Professor Titus Bayo, the former General Secretary of Ghana Medical Association and NDC parliamentary candidate for Lambuisi. Also, Yaa Jantuah, former General Secretary of the CPP, joining us in the studio to review the newspapers. Lady and gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, usually they say ladies first, but because it's the first time I'm seeing, although we've had conversations on Zoom, I'll give you the first take on what's top of your mind this morning, and you have about a minute to take us through that.
All right. A very good morning to our viewers and to your good self, and then, Madam. I think top of my mind is the good news that the NDC has to offer from our manifesto launch. And I'm excited about the policy proposals that the National Democratic Congress has to offer the people of Ghana, ranging from the tax cuts that are going to revamp the economy of Ghana, the fact that there is a promise of accountability to recover all the loots, Operation Recover All the Loots coming in. And for the first time, you are seeing a presidential candidate that actually gives you a social contract for the first 120 days to tell you how ready we are. I'm extremely excited about the prospect in the health sector because that's where I operate in. And we have a manifesto that promises a risk exposure allowance for healthcare workers. We have a Mahama Care Fund that is coming up to tackle one of the major problems in Ghana, that is the non-communicable diseases. The burden of non-communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes, cancers is significant, sickle cell significant, and these things are the ones leading to the renal failure, leading to dialysis, and you know the crisis we have. So if you have someone who has thought through to bring in a policy, a fund to handle this, I think it's good news for the people of Ghana.
So is the 120 days the honeymoon phase that we talked about earlier? Or there's no more honeymoon this time?
There's no honeymoon. His Excellency is more experienced to want a honeymoon. He's too experienced for a honeymoon.
All right.
He's saying that within 14 days, his entire cabinet will be announced.
Yes.
That is a man who means business. And he's telling that within 90 days, he will hold a national economic dialogue to let us come out of this quagmire that we are in, you know? We've been calling for this, that when we are in crisis, bring the best brains in Ghana together. But we've never had that from this government. So we are hitting the ground running.
Yeah. Okay. Yaa, what's on your mind? This weekend was interesting, was it not?
Very interesting.
Yeah. From Winneba to Accra.
To Accra.
Yeah. What's on your mind? Yeah.
You see, I listened to His Excellency Bawumia, and when the time I listen to him, I see more of an economics professor or a teacher than somebody who wants to rule a nation. And I also see that he's more foreign than Ghanaian.
Oh, is it?
Yes, because the things he talks about, it does not affect my daily life as
like
the
what?
food that I will eat, where I will sleep, and what I will wear. These are the basic principles of existence. And he doesn't really talk about it. He's always talking about digitalization. Digitalization is meant for people who have established these three principles firmly. Do you get me? So that it is an addendum to life, digitalization. And that's all he talks about. At the end of the day of his failures, he says digitalization. And he's always trying to, detach himself from the issues that we are in, the problems that we face. And I was happy that he agreed that there was a crisis at a point, because then it means that every government has that kind of crisis situation. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It means that it should be accepted. It means that it is part of it. So whatever crisis they're in, it means that you sitting on the bench, who has never been there before, should understand that there's a possibility of a crisis. It can come in different forms as life crisis. But then you have to acknowledge it. Because yesterday when I heard him say that, yes, he agrees that Ghana was going to be like Sri Lanka at a point. And I said, you know this. But when it comes to some other person, you castigate the person. Number two, you see me, that's why I always have issues with the NDC. This thing about honeymoon. This honeymoon.
Oh, they said no longer honeymoon.
Never requested for honeymoon.
Please, I beg.
Okay, finish your trail of thoughts.
Okay.
This issue about honeymoon was very specific. There's specificity to it. He was referring to the trade unions, not generality of the work that he was coming to do. We have to have that. People are saying it with the mantra and this and honey. No, it was specific to the TUC.
Right.
That when I come, please give me time to reset the economy so that I can meet your needs. That is what it is.
All right.
And we keep saying it. Oh, he said, the TUC, give me time when it comes to your salaries, a month or two, because every time by January you have to look at salaries. He said, let me work and reset the economy for 1 or 2 months. Do you understand?
So I guess those 120 days, that's within those days he's going to work reset, and then he can address the needs of the TUC.
About 4 months. Okay. So it was to the TUC specifically.
All right.
And it had to do with salaries, emoluments, and all that. He is a former general secretary. And that is what he was talking, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was talking about. And everybody said, oh, he wants, no, he said TUC.
All right, thanks for that clarification. Let's get into the newspapers quickly. Okay. I'll start with the Daily Graphic. On the front page, we just got into that. NDC promises economic revival. Manifesto addresses jobs, infrastructure, assures better lives. NPP deserves another term, according to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, touts NPP's better records and says party will do more next term. From former to do more to lead is to solve. Let's see how it goes. Let me start with the story right here on page 3 on the NDC's promises. Now, the National Democratic Congress has pledged to roll out a $10 billion economic project to fix the ailing economy and bring it back to resilient mode. And termed the Big Push, it will form one of the major policy directions of an NDC administration intended to provide a foundation to revive the economy and set it on a path of growth. We all listened to the former president on Saturday, and the highlights are flying all over, and we'll discuss that later on today. Let me do 2 more stories, and then we discuss lady and gentleman. There's a story that caught my attention this morning about CSO suing government over that SML deal. So I think there was CDD. Let's get into the story. So on page 11 of the Daily Graphic, CSOs sue government over SML deal, seek recovery of 1 billion Ghana cedis to state. Civil society organizations have sued the government over the contract awarded to Strategic Mobilization Limited, that is SML, for audit services and revenue assurance. And these CSOs include Center for Democratic Governance, yes, that is CDD, Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, and the Human Rights and Governance Center. And they're seeking the recovery of more than 1 billion Ghana cedis to be paid, which was paid to SML. Now, the lawsuit was filed in Accra on Thursday, and their contention is that the 7 contracts awarded SML were illegal, as they breached the Public Procurement Act 2016. And while no assessment was conducted to ascertain whether the contract offered value for money or for the country or not. So with regard to the procurement breaches, the plaintiff averred that SML was not registered as a supplier with the Public Procurement Authority before it was awarded the contract, contrary to the public procurement regulations. Good call, Professor Bayu.
Excellent call, if you ask me. I think this SML deal has been stinking right from the beginning. And if you follow the trajectory of events, you sign a contract with a company for revenue assurance, and then you get the GRA itself, and this same company, when they were interviewed by the media, confirming publicly, basically, that they have not added any value to what they have done. What they were doing is exactly what the GRA was doing, and they were able to monitor their resources coming in or revenues coming in. So what really was the need for this? You signed all these contracts, single sourced, you didn't have any proper value for money. You had
no parliamentary approval.
Yes, so several breaches. You see, it is surprising that when we are being led by a lawyer as a president, things like this should be happening. It is almost unthinkable to imagine that things like this can happen. And this is not the only one. It's the reason why His Excellency John Dramani Mahama says that for our manifesto, the accountability part, that we are going to set up, have forensic audits of various contracts and scandals of public interest. In fact, the scandals have become a daily affair, isn't it? It's one scandal per day. And someone said that they are like the grace of God. They are new every morning. Because each day, you have to hear a new scandal.
Especially in terms of state capture,
yes,
scandals around.
It's just unthinkable. This SML is just one. And I commend these CSOs that are doing this bit. But there is a firm promise and assurance by our leadership, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Professor Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, that when the NDC comes into power, the Ghanaians should note and hold us to it, that will investigate every single one of these. Okay. And the loot that will recruit may be sufficient to support a lot of our initiatives that we are bringing in. You have a $60-something million National Cathedral scandal that is there, the most expensive pit in the world. Somebody has come that is going to raise funds for us. The normal procedure is that the person raises the money and is paid a percentage. In our case, we pay in advance. And in fact, some of the scandals, they are a sin to humanity. The one on ambulance. As a medical person, when I hear it, I can't think far. That you are paying over 34 million Ghanaian cedis or $1 million for ambulance repairs.
Yeah. Not to purchase new ambulance.
Not to purchase new ambulance. And the company didn't even have registration at the time they were giving some of the initial contract. Okay. The company didn't have staff to carry out these repairs. My constituency ambulance was out for a very long time. It couldn't work. I had to buy tires for the ambulance in my constituency. Right. Meanwhile, there was a $30-something million contract to someone. How do you reconcile?
So it's a good call.
It's an
These
excellent
CSOs
call.
should lead the charge, and
hopefully
they can help us recoup that.
They can do their best on this one. This is only one, but we are telling you, if you look at the fact that they are coming on daily basis, they are numerous. So we need special courts, we need forensic audit, we need a special purpose vehicle to tackle these things. And the last is that this same government and its surrogates can never hold themselves accountable. And that's why you've never heard Bawumia mention anything about these scandals. Okay. So no Ghanaian should make that mistake of retaining any form of MPP from 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Nanaya, good call. CSO suing the government over this SML deal. And they want to get back over 1 billion Ghana cedis.
How many days into the next election? That's the day they are doing this. You have only 3 months to go. You've been embroiled in scandals all these years. 7 years, almost 8 years. None of these, sometimes I wonder whether they are in town.
But better late than never. And this is coming on the back of the report from...
It is 3 months for these people to go. You get 3 months.
The reports from KPMG only came in July, wasn't it?
And we are in what?
This is August.
August, well, we are in September. It's about 1 week to September. Right. The court is even on recess. So when is it going to start?
You think this should have been done earlier?
It's not only
but
this
they were waiting on the facts, the
recommendations,
and the results of the investigation.
No, but you didn't need any investigation to know what was going on. For me, there are other institutions that were supposed to do the work of CML. And there was some repetitive actions going on. And nobody said a word. All these CSOs who are CDD, which is a very renowned, known CSO, had credibility. And all the others, why are they picking only SML? There is the cathedral, which is breeding mosquitoes, creating little demons to give us malaria. There is the ambulance scandal. There is this thing about that man, is it Maritime Authority or the man?
Right.
Yes, I mean, yes.
Public procurement.
Public procurement.
The boss himself.
The boss himself also had issues. There are so many of them. Why are they picking SML? There are so
Maybe
many.
that's where they're starting from.
Starting from 3 months to go.
V.
Okay. That is even... yes, V.
So should
the medicines at the port that was cleared by Okoboy, all these things are there. Why didn't they speak, even speak? Why didn't they say anything? Why are they now going to court? Court is on recess. I don't know when court is coming. October, when everybody is busy doing politics. So, I mean, what is it?
But Nanaya, Better late than never.
You see, that
I thought we'll be commending them for taking this big step.
Is it a big step? What big step is it?
Well,
because they are supposed to be the watchdogs. If you're a CSO, you're supposed to be a watchdog. You don't wait till last minute. What is better late than that? You see, that phrase, we should take it out of our lexicon because it is for losers. What is better late than never?
Okay.
There's nothing like better late than never, my dear. Because they should have taken the lead long ago. And I was always asking myself, where are these CSOs? When these things happen in this country, we have allowed this government to do whatever they like till today. And we don't hold them accountable for anything that they do.
Okay.
Do you get
I get your point.
Yeah, so I mean, it is too late. There's nothing like better late, and you are taking it to the court. All this time. You see how Kenya hated us?
Let's do some other stories. Metering system upgrade results in 893 million Ghana cedi loss, according to the ECG. That's a very interesting figure for metering system upgrades. Let's see what the story says. The Electricity Company of Ghana, between July and August this year, recorded a revenue shortfall of over 893 million Ghana cedis as part of the ongoing process of upgrading its repayment metering system in its operational areas. According to the company, the loss was as a result of customers not paying for the actual amount of power consumed, indebtedness, and the ongoing process of replacing malfunctioning or obsolete meters. And the Director of Communications at the ECG, William Boateng, said there was the need to replace some obsolete meters since it was a mandatory exercise sanctioned by the PULC that it should not operate with any obsolete equipment, and named those being replaced to include the BXC, PNX, and BOT meters. Quote, these are meters that have run their due course. They were not working accurately and needed to be replaced. And so all this is costing a loss of 893 million Ghana cedis. Am I the only one who thinks this figure is too big a figure to cater for upgrade of metering systems? Maybe I don't know how much it costs to replace a meter. But your quick thoughts on this?
Well, I don't know if this include the prices of the meters themselves, or it's just the process of upgrading them, because it sounds really huge. And I'm wondering you can imagine the benefit of replacement, that if we are using modern meters, people are going to pay for actual consumption.
They're smart meters.
Yeah, they are smart meters, and people can pay for what they actually consume, which is beneficial. But why it will result in such a huge loss, and the process, you should be making savings by actually replacing the meters. So it's surprising. That's what I'm saying. We will need more detail. Is it that
it doesn't say in the story
and you see, when you hear all of this, you are worried. Is there not another scandal in the offing? And I'm sure my friend Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa will have a look there, because what is accounting for all of this? Because if you are replacing meters, is it the cost of the meters? Is the person's actually replacing the meters? And what is happening is that sometimes
an upgraded one, so they're fashioning out the old.
Yes, so my meter has been replaced. So they come to your house, take off the old meter and put a new meter there. But I don't see why that should cost us this much. That's what I'm wondering, if it is the cost of the new meters, or it is the contracts they've given to people to do this replacement.
Do you pay anything?
No.
Maybe they're absorbing everything. They're absorbing the cost of the entire process of upgrading these meters. Maybe that also. But I'm just trying to understand.
I'm trying to understand it myself. So we need further and better particulars to this. Is it the people actually going around to do the replacement that they are paying? Or is it the purchase of these meters? Because in the process of actually upgrading, if anything at all, you should be making savings. Because if they change your meter and the obsolete one was under reporting and therefore you were paying less, you should be paying more. So we should be seeing that their losses, operational losses, is getting smaller. ECG has been making significant, unacceptable operational losses, from transmission losses to illegal metering, illegal connections. All these things are supposed to be corrected by this metering. Right. So if the metering itself is causing us to lose this amount of money, then there's a lot to question.
Nana can help us. She was at the PULC. So they're saying this is a mandatory exercise sanctioned by the PULC.
It's not clear.
Right. So they're saying that the Electricity Company of Ghana is saying between July and August this year, they've recorded a revenue shortfall of over 893 million Ghana cedis, right? As part of the ongoing process of upgrading its repayment metering system in the operational areas. And according to the company, the loss was as a result of customers not paying for the actual amount of power consumed, indebtedness, and the ongoing process of replacing malfunctioning or obsolete meters.
The story is not clear.
It's not.
Because you see, if they have a loss of 893 million, it means that...
Which was incurred from this exercise.
Yeah.
How did they... How? Because if you say you have a loss, then it means that because in their own estimation, the meters are not reading properly. Because when I was even there were issues with software, some of them going into retrogression and all that, going into the future, into the past, and some confusion. So you may lose money through that. But that money is not physical money. Do you understand? It is part of the losses of commercial losses. And for technical losses on the distribution side, you face it because of equipment, because of when you are wheeling the power, you lose the cable, all these things. So that is the technical losses. That one is sometimes you deal with it. But this one, we want to find out whether it is a loss that has come about as a result of a commercial issue. Some people stealing power, meters not reading properly. Or it is the cost of meters that have been replaced. It is not clear. It's possible whoever did the interview didn't really understand the issue.
Well.
Because 83, you can have a loss of 893 million through people stealing power, through meters not running properly.
So I mean, the faulty meters will probably fall in that category, because if your meter is faulty, it's probably not recording the amount of power you're consuming.
Yes.
And so they need to replace
That's
that
the
and then
reason
cut
why.
those.
But when they replace, they should actually now be getting revenue.
No, because is this the money that is used to buy for the process, or it is a loss that they have recognized as a result?
We'll probe
yes, because it doesn't. So when you were reading, I even wanted to ask you, it didn't sit well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now GTA has launched the December in Ghana event again, and 64 events endorsed. Ghana Tourism Authority. Why did you shake your head? This is a big event that lots of diasporans and foreigners look forward to come to Ghana. It's December in Ghana. And the story says the Ghana Tourism Authority has launched the 6th edition of the December in Ghana initiative to enhance tourism and synchronize a series of events for the Christmas and New Year festivities. And the launch was done in collaboration with the Beyond the Return Secretariat and the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture at the Christian Bell Castle Gardens in Accra. And I mean, we've seen this happen for 5 years over now. And every time, traders, or should I say petty traders, complain that these foreigners don't really buy from them. So I keep asking myself, where does all the money go? Because they come in with a lot of money. These foreigners and those who come to celebrate, December, Christmas, and the New Year here in Ghana, it's a lot of them. Town is choked. So where does all the money go?
I get disturbed when...
But it's a good thing that we're launching this.
No, we have always a one-off program of foreigners coming in. Have you ever seen America saying that they are doing a program for people in Africa to come? Because if you
maybe they don't need it. We have something to show. We have rich culture. We have history.
But what about us?
We have things to show.
No, I am asking, what about those of us in Ghana? What kind of programs and plans does the Ghana Tourism Authority have for us as Ghanaians? Do we have to wait for diasporans to come?
Oh, okay. And we are not the target audience or
No, but we should be their target audience because we are Ghanaians. This country belongs to us. There are so many sites that they can develop and so many places so that it will reduce the pressure on us. People are going abroad for holidays, buying tickets and shopping over there. Why can't we develop our own? Do you get me? I traveled along the Wager River this weekend, and I saw we could even build hotels around some of the rivers that Suez. There is a stream running through Akweje. There's a stream running through houses. We could build hotels around these areas for people to come and enjoy us and make it moderate. That weekend you pick your family and you travel and you go to places. Do you get me?
Yeah.
We have the monkey sanctuary. It is there. When these people come, you know why they are not buying from them? Because they come to chill. They come and do paluta. and they are gone. They go to the clubs. They don't actually buy things. Do you understand? Even if they buy it from the high-end shops.
Yes.
They don't buy it from the petty trading. So I don't see why we are always putting our hopes in foreigners. People
overall, I think the overall intent is to promote tourism. To
promote tourism with people from outside. So when they are gone,
desirable destination.
please, with 11 months, when they are gone, what do they do? The Ghana Tourism Authority.
And that's where I want to come in.
What do they do? 11 months. What do they do?
The Ghana Tourism Authority must move away from a Christmas tourism.
But look, it is not them. It is the president who is in charge.
Yeah, so all of that.
Somebody went to stand on his this thing
exactly
in the Flagstaff house and sang. So
Big Bill,
whatever is.
Can you imagine how we denigrate our Flagstaff house?
Can you do that in the White House?
So, my point is that having our entire tourism activities just centered on Christmas is underutilization.
Christmas and New Year.
It's underutilization of our tourism potential. I invite the Ghana Tourism Authority and all persons interested in the tourism and culture arts industry to sign on to our Black Star experience, which we are promising. The NDC says that when we come to government from January, we are not going to have all our tourism activities centered only on December. And then people come in, celebrate, and leave, and that's it. The rest of the 11 months, as Nanaya said, what happens?
Oh,
we are saying we want to have an all year round.
Kowoko is not tourism.
All year round.
Yeah.
Where we'll have a Pan-African month celebrating heritage, history, and all our diaspora engagement. We want to have Ghana Film Festival and Awards month. We want to have a music world. We want to have a culinary month. Architecture, design, arts, craft.
Right.
These are the things we want to create. So we are inviting them to come, anybody interested in the creative sector. Tourism has a huge potential, and we are not tapping into local tourism. As she just stated, I am a travel enthusiast. I travel a lot locally to see. I've been to almost all our tourist centers in this country just to see places. And I've seen a lot of untapped potential. I will tell you one thing. If you go into Lambuse, my constituency, there in the town of Lambuse itself, we have a cave bigger than this room. A cave that were used by our ancestors. It is undeveloped. It's bush. No one can go there to even go and see. You have a stone that has a footprint on it. How you could get a footprint on a stone, we do not know. These are all things that could be harnessed for local tourism. People from Accra want to travel to go and see. People from up north want to travel to come to the beach, to the lakeside. Why can't we harness this for local tourism and just wait till every year is December? So I am telling them, well, they've done this for 4 years, and you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results.
So you're both basically saying that this tourism potential, revenue generation potential from the tourism industry is underutilized.
Yes, undertapped.
Completely
undertapped. And tourism must be all year round. Go to any country. Today, just Google that you want to attend an event in South Africa. You see everything.
Yeah, it's a
Google
big,
in Dubai. It's a daily.
Yes.
Yeah. So why will we limit ours everywhere? And people are traveling from Ghana to go and see those things. It tells you that if we create it well, we will get them. Look, private stations have created the Ghana Month, they organize tours, and people patronize it. It tells you that there is a lot for us to gain. And that is why we are saying the game changer is that we are bringing in the Black Star experience.
Okay, let me do one last story.
Subscribe to the NDC, and then we'll have tourism all year round.
One last story, and then I'll move to your paper. It's about the ECG promising that there will be no doomsaw during the Ogua festivities.
Can ECG pro?
Yeah, they did a donation, and then they promised the people that during the entire festival period, there will be no doomsaw. And they use the word doomsaw. So I'm wondering, is doomsaw something that they want to accept now?
So after that, there can be doomsaw.
Yes, perhaps. So they'll give them a honeymoon period. Yeah, this is it.
Whose life do they sacrifice?
The Electricity Company of Ghana has presented items to support the celebration of the Fetu Festival of the chiefs and people of Cape Coast, pledging that there would be no doomsaw during the period. And the Central Regional General Manager of ECG, Manuel Lumo, said the company had deployed some generators to ensure that in the unforeseen circumstances or instance of a power outage, no major activity of the festival would be affected. So this is a festival targeted intervention, and they've deployed generators. So just in case, they are standing by to provide support for the people of Fetu.
Isn't this an admission that there are real challenges with ECG and with our power sector?
Yeah.
Because we hear the Vice President and government communicators say we are keeping the lights on. If the ECG itself is supplying generators, what does it tell us? So the rest of us that they are not supplying generators to, that do not have the festival in your enclave, it means that you must be prepared for doomsday.
Yeah.
It means that ECG admits that they are having serious challenges. Yeah. And these challenges, we have consistently stated that it is not because of generational capacity, because we bequeath this government enough generational capacity. Excess is money
to buy fuel,
to power these plants. That is the problem. And they should admit it and admit the challenges. You see, when you are communicating in crisis or in difficult times as a leader, there are a few things we expect of you. Some minimum benchmarks. You must give us facts and be honest. You must admit reality, what the situation is. You must empathize with the people and show us the way forward. This carries the community along. But when your communication is a state of denial, that we are not in it, when we are feeling it, you sleep without light and they tell you you are sleeping in light. You are hungry and they tell you are full. You can't change the name, but when the light is off, it's off.
So after the festivities, these people, they are not assured of uninterrupted power supply anymore.
When you said ECG said there will be no doom, so ECG hasn't got the power to say there is no doom. So. But I got some relief when you said they have deployed some generators.
Yes. Because
it doesn't depend on ECG when there is doom. So if there is no money to buy fuel, and Gridco hasn't got enough power to go around to transmit, and the IPPs and VRA, they don't have the power. And when they start rationing, you cannot say that there will be no doom. So, but in the event of a doom, so they have provided some generators. So why is it that when the other people ask, why don't they do same for us? But because it is a festival, it is good because it is a festival that has to go on. And if they are promising that, then it is good. But the point is
clarify, it's not ECG general. This is ECG for that region.
Yes, but ECG, the central region cannot do anything without.
Maybe they are just trying to.
No, you can't do that. You have there should be recourse to the national office, the head office.
Right.
So where did they get the generators from? They don't have the capacity and the money to do that.
Okay.
They have to get some collaboration from the head office.
Okay.
And you see, this is a signal, and I know the person who is the manager there, he's very truthful. Okay. It's a signal just trying to say that we are not out of the woods yet, and that the possibility of a doomsday is there. And you see, when you are in your house, you don't know whether the next area is off. So now we don't know how they do it. You might not see the effect as it is, but I believe from what they are saying that there's some form of power curtailment going on in some manner, or there's a possibility of us going through that process again.
But truthfully, I haven't had experienced power.
Yes, for some time, yeah.
Have they found money to
Of course, I think they have.
Yeah, they found some money
to buy the fuel.
But why wouldn't they find money? When you have done haircuts, you have debt restructuring, people are struggling, you are not paying your debts, you have money.
I don't think they have paid the IPPs.
Even the IPPs, they have challenged.
They found money to buy
fuel. They went into some arrangement with the IPPs, but they've not been able to pay them fully, and they are still protesting. Some are
whatever means it is, I hope it's sustainable.
But also, we have to also remember that we have a lot of hydro now, because the Akosombo is not down.
Yeah.
And they are also about to spill again. So they can, the last time I found, I think they are doing about 60% from hydro. And that is a lot. So with a hydro at the level that it is, certainly we would have some stable electricity, augmenting it with thermal.
Okay.
And we also have the Bui, even though Bui is not a peaking plant, it's not an offload plant. Sorry, base load plant.
Right.
It is a peaking plant. So if Bui 400 megawatts, they even deploy 200 megawatts at the peak period. It's augmenting Akosombo and Pong.
Okay.
We will get some stable power. And when they do some...
See how it goes. Yeah.
But
let me get into your various papers. I'll start with
the papers, they are not interesting.
Let me start with the new finder. You can tell us the stories on the front page and then pick one that's interesting for you. And
it says that AGI adheres back new GSA law, and then NEIP supports young entrepreneurs, 50 million royalties paid to creative artists, and I think, as she said, I didn't find any of these very interesting to me.
Oh, that
the
GSA,
only one,
that GSA, that's Ghana Shippers Authority. No, there was a new law passed.
But it's a tax.
But my pick.
Okay, your pick.
My pick is that NDC promises economic stabilization and job creation. And I think that is, for me, what I found interesting in this paper. And why do I say so? Economic stabilization, we have made solid proposals on how we are going to stabilize this economy. First of all, scrapping these all obnoxious taxes. We have accepted that we need all Ghanaians on board to sit, so there will be an economic dialogue. We have talked about our job creation initiative. One of them is a 24-hour economy. That's a master stroke, because you're going to have one job, 3 shifts, 3 people running it, which means that we are going to have increased employment opportunities. And we have promised that within the first 120 days, the legislative requirement for this will be instituted to make sure that we have that job creation. The 50 million to the fintech companies has been announced, and His Excellency made a personal commitment that he's going to use the government purchasing power to promote the tech industry and promote local consumption. So coders, the 1 million coders that we are going to train, they will not be coding in vain, because he has made a promise that when government or the government digitalization agenda, he would source for local coders and local softwares first, if we don't find it before we go out. And this will create jobs for the people.
Okay,
so for me, I think this is what I find interesting here, and a solid proposal.
Just I was catching up on some reading in preparation for today's work. I realized that in your 2020 manifesto, there was a strong emphasis on infrastructure agenda, the big push. And then 2024, there's been a shift or a pivot towards creating a 24-hour economy. Is this shift based on your assessment of what we need as Ghanaians, or are you selling us on what you think will help you win the elections?
No.
Briefly, and then we can go to Nanaya.
The big push is still in our 2024 manifesto, and very firmly.
This is why from infrastructure to sector-focused policies to turn the economy around.
Yeah, so the big push is still there, and it's going to serve the same purpose that we had wanted it to serve. And the reason why this 24-hour economy is the game changer, as admitted by the TUC, admitted by several independent bodies, is that the biggest threat facing Ghana today is an unemployment of about 14.7%.
Okay, we've run out of time, so I'll come back to you to wrap up. I'll come back to you. Nanaya, let's quickly run through your paper and then I'll take your thoughts.
Ghana needs an upgrade, not a reset.
That's the Ghanaian publisher.
The Ghanaian publisher, Bawumia Jabs Mahama, outlines 14 key commitments. EC guarantees integrity of 2024 election. AGI to others back GSA law amidst Buta and GIFF concern. Ghana needs an upgrade. Yes, we've talked about. GRA Commissioner General underscores media role ensuring accountability and tax. Election year Galamsey. Mahama pledges to reform VAT regime, eliminate controversial taxes in first 100 days. NDC manifesto to overhaul BOG, reinstate, revoke licenses of banks. AGI, we've talked about that. Poor working conditions, driving high attrition rate among nurses, etc., etc. Then I have an advert but vote Bawumia for president.
Okay. But I think that story of GSI is Guta saying they have some concerns about the law because they were not consulted enough. I was looking forward to that, but time is gone, and so we do have to go.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us for the news review. Yaa
Jantuah.
I'll give you the final word. I'll give you the final
word. If I haven't spoken, why should you give him the final?
I'll give you 30 seconds each.
He has spoken.
Okay,
so
Nana,
let me take my 30 seconds before it's taken away from me.
Yes.
All I just want to say is that if you are in the former Brong Ahafo region, the Bono East or Ahafo regions, the good news that we have for the people in that enclave is that the NDC is promising to establish a medical school in that enclave. And data, solid data has shown us that wherever medical schools go, there's an increased distribution of doctors in that area. Quality of care increases. And this will reduce the cost of several people having to travel out of this country, qualified people to seek medical education. And as a medical educator who sit on the interview board and see people qualified, but we cannot take them because of limited space, I think this is excellent news for the middle belt of this country. Thank you.
Okay. Nana, you have the final word.
No, my dear, this is very important too. EC guarantees integrity of 2024 elections. And they are telling us that a man was found with a BVD in someone.
I wish we had time to get into
this. No, I'm
this,
serious.
I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
No, but this is dangerous. And now they are telling us that that machine cannot be used because it's not configured.
That's what the EC said.
No, but how is this? Have you seen the letter from the armed forces? Did you read that letter? That if there is any chaos, they will step in.
Yeah.
If there is any uncertainty, if the armed forces tell you they are stepping in, do we know what it means? You see, why is this government want to destroy this nation? Because seriously, by all means, they want to come to power. Ever since we've been in this country, have you ever seen a BVD machine with an outsider? Because BVD machines are not sold on the market at Makola. It is not on the yes, it is not on the shelves in any shop.
Right.
No, I mean seriously.
No, I get you. I mean,
this is very serious.
And we are your election headquarters. We'll probe and bring you details and updates on this issue.
And we have to deal with it, not just probe.
No, we will. We will. Joining us for News Review this morning was Yaa Jantuah, former General Secretary of the CPP, as well as Professor Titus Bayo, and he's also former General Secretary of GMA and NDC parliamentary candidate for Lambuisi. Thank you so much for joining us. Ushering us into AM Sports coming up shortly. Stay.